Welcome to the December 27th, 2016 meeting of Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh.
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as legal notice in the Suburban Trends newspaper, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me for a pledge of allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for our individuals serving our nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding, so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
The clerk will please call the roll.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Phelan?
Here.
Mr. Vanderhoff?
Here.
Ms. Winterfield?
Here.
Mayor Cole?
Here. Next on the agenda is presentation. Councilman Jay Vanderhoff's final meeting after 12 years on Town Council. Mr. Jay, I'm going to ask you to come up, and I'm going to ask the entire council to join me. Former council men and women, if you want to join us, please come on up and join us. Come on. Come on. How are you?
I think I do work for the council people.
Yes. We're still in the back of the classroom.
Jay, how long have you lived in town?
All my life. We missed 2 years when we lived in Oak Ridge.
I would imagine from the picture that someone dropped off at Town Hall that you went to Pequannock School.
Pequannock School, went to Pelton Plain School.
Well, we have a picture of Jay in Pequannock School in the back there. So this fell out, Jay, so there's a picture.
The picture's faded, I'm sure.
Right here.
That's Jay.
That's Jay.
Oh, wow.
Has his hands folded. Look at that, Jay. I don't know who dropped it off. Carol refuses to give up any information. But I was saying it had to come from someone in the historic, maybe Ed.
Maybe.
You go ahead with yours.
Okay.
That's his job.
Well, the proclamation that I'm going to read about Jay does not do Jay justice. Jay has served the Township Council with character and integrity for 12 years. He knows so much about the township and has been and will continue to be the person I go to ask questions and seek advice. During meetings, he is often the quiet one in the background, making sure things are done correctly. I thank him for allowing me to run with him. I probably wouldn't be here today if Jay hadn't said yes 5 years ago. It will be a challenge for the 5 of us next year to fill the void that Jay leaves. So we have a 2016 Mayor's Award honoring Jay Vanderhoff. Whereas Councilman Jay Vanderhoff will conclude 12 years of service as a member of the Pequannock Township Council. And whereas Jay Vanderhoff was first elected to council in November 2004 and was re-elected in 2008 and 2012. And whereas in recognition to his contributions and efforts, Councilman Vanderhoff was selected by Township Council to serve as Deputy Mayor in 2006, 2016, and Mayor in 2007. Whereas, prior to his service on Township Council, Jay served on Zoning Board of Adjustments and Planning Board. And whereas the Mayor and Township Council would like to express their appreciation for his steadfast attention to well-being of the residents of the Township of Pequannock, and the generous sharing of his experience and knowledge, and looks forward to working with Jay as he continues to serve on Pequannock Township Planning Board. Now therefore be it resolved, the Township Council of the Township of Pequannock in Morris County, State of New Jersey, does hereby join Mayor David Cole in presenting Councilman Jay Vanderhoff with the 2016 Mayor's Award in recognition for his many years spent dedicated to the service of Pequannock Township. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. I want to thank the people of Pequannock Township for putting their faith in me, overwhelming, re-elect me each time. Something I enjoy doing. As I told our newcomer, you make decisions from your heart, do what you think is best. We have a great silent majority in this town that, they know what's going on. They may not be at council meetings, but they do know if you do something wrong. I'm sure former council people will agree with that. And it's been fun. Takes time. One thing I'm sure our council don't know is, like every Sunday morning, I spend an hour and a half riding around, checking on things. And you don't have to do everything at council, I meet with Mr. Holberg Monday mornings and bring up some issues, and most of them get resolved. So it's been great. I enjoy it, and thank you.
Things to do here. We have this is a large,
You need a magnifying glass? This is kind of small.
this is from Senator O'Toole and Assemblyman Russo and Rooney, joint legislative resolution. I'd like to read this to you, and then you can take this and put this in a nice plaque on the wall. Whereas the Honorable Jay Vanderhoff, a much esteemed resident of the Garden State, is being saluted upon the conclusion of his distinguished tenure of service to the citizens of the Township of Pequannock that has exemplified the true meaning of selfless public service. And whereas his extensive record of inspired and effective civic leadership has earned for Jay Vanderhoff the highest regard and admiration of his fellow citizens. And whereas Jay Vanderhoff, a longtime pillar of the Pequannock community, has served with distinction on the Township Council since January of 2005, and for more than a decade, he has demonstrated an uncommon degree of dedication to his constituents, as evidenced by his superb tenures as mayor and deputy mayor. And whereas Councilman Jay Vanderhoff's exemplary and steadfast devotion to the people of Pequannock, Morris County, include his efforts as a member of the Township Zoning Board of Adjustment and Planning Board, and he has made inestimable contributions to the Environmental Commission, the Shade Tree Commission, the Fire Departments, Open Space Advisory Committee, of which he is respected as the founding chair. And whereas Councilman Jay Vanderhoff has been upheld in his life's endeavors by his wife Jan, and he takes great pride in his children Jesse and Caitlin. And whereas the strength and success of the state of New Jersey, the vitality of its communities, and the effectiveness of our American society depend, in great measure, upon dynamic and selfless individuals exemplified by Councilman Jay Vanderhoff. And whereas Councilman Jay Vanderhoff will be recognized by his peers and colleagues, and his many significant accomplishments recalled during his final township meeting on December 27, 2016, now therefore be it resolved by the Senate and the General Assembly of the State of New Jersey that this legislature hereby honors Councilman Jay Vanderhoff, pays tribute to his meritorious history of service and commitment to the citizens of Pequannock and this state, and extends its sincere best wishes for his continued happiness and success. And be it further resolved that a duly authentic copy of this resolution signed by the Senate President and the Assembly Speaker and attested by the Senate Secretary and the Assembly Clerk be transmitted to the Honorable J. Vanderhoff. President of the Senate and Speaker of the General Assembly. Congratulations. That was the first time I read that.
Thank you.
And at this time, I'm going to ask Township Manager David Holberg to present Jay with another award.
So in honor of your years of service to the community, you are given an official gavel to hang on your wall, presented to Jay Vanderhoff in recognition of his dedicated service to Pequannock Township, Mayor 2007, Deputy Mayor 2006 and 16, Councilman 2005 to 2016. Congratulations.
Thank you.
As a township manager, it's been an honor and a pleasure to work with and for Councilman Vanderhoff. Probably more so than just about any other councilman I've worked with. His fine touch is in so many aspects of this community. He literally knows where everything is. You know, anytime you need to know something about something that occurred or something that was said years and years ago, Jay's the guy you go to. His meeting with me on Monday mornings, there are so many things that are better in Pequannock because, you know, Jay had a thought or an idea. One that comes to mind is the water tank that we're currently working on Mountain Ave. Came out of a suggestion that he made. What is the elevation at Mountainside Park, and will that support a water tank? So we took a look at that, and lo and behold, it's exactly perfect. That's one example, and there are dozens and dozens more where he says, you know, before we pave that road, we should, you know, make sure that, you know, the water lines are done and the gas main is done and so forth and so on. And over the course of all the time that I've worked here, close to 30 years, that has been Jay's contribution, regardless of where he's serving on council or planning board or fire department liaison. He's been a true asset, and we're going to miss you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to make a comment. For those of you who do not know, Jay and I served together for 2 terms on the town council. And I kind of want to begin by apologizing to Jay. When I first got on the town council in '97, January of '97 with Paul Holly, we kind of changed the dress, which is a formal wear. So Jay, the reason why you are dressed the way you are and have been for all these years is due to me and Paul Holly. But you look very good. You look very good. And Jan, I think, has had a lot to do with that too over the years. Right, Jan?
And the dry cleaners.
And the dry cleaners.
Definitely,
Right,
thank
right.
you.
The other thing I want to do is give Jay a little something. It's called Map of the Brain of a Town Council Member. Okay, and I remember, I think when Kathy, Rich, and Melissa first got on, but I don't think I gave Jay a copy, but it's in a little frame. And it's kind of a it's something that would remind him of his years on the town council. And the brain is divided into sections when you come up here as a member of the town council. So you might have the fixation to suffer public abuse lobe. You will also have a portion for control of bladder during long meetings. And then you have another one called the section for the lane exclusive glands. And then the lobe of self-destruction for wanting to run for town council. And then there's another portion, love to hear yourself talking spot. And catch-22, lobe activated by town manager and town attorney. All right, So all these are part of the brain that becomes part of a town councilman. And Jay has put up with this for 12 years. And Jay, this is for you as a reminder.
Robbie? As mentioned, Jay was our council liaison for 12 years from the fire department. We always found out what was going on in town. Good man. He would bring, once in a while, a fine beer to the meeting afterwards. But Jay, I know Jan doesn't like dusting. You're going to have plenty of plaques to dust. We want to finally give you a coat for the firehouse. Thank you for your 12 years.
Okay, you have, no? Okay. Jay, at this time, anyone else on the council or?
Well, I'd just like to say, when Rich, Melissa, and I, we were all came on board, we were newcomers, and we definitely needed some training. And Jay always took the time to explain the history, as you said to us, so that we could be up to board and make sure that we made some common sense decisions. So thank you.
And it's been a pleasure working with Jay. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're really gonna miss him. But I don't think your phone's not
It's
gonna
our
keep
new
ringing.
regular.
It's not gonna get all over for advice, but we're really gonna miss you.
There's been good councils, I had predecessor, and she helped me along when I started. And it's been a good run.
Tempest future, doesn't it?
It's been a good run, very enjoyable, and you know, a lot of good moments, a lot of funny moments. And, glad I was here, glad I did it, and can't say I won't miss it, but I'll still.
I have one question. Are you going to be sitting out there giving us a hard time? Because that's normal. They normally, you leave here and you go sit there and you give us a hard time.
There has to be more here than over there. There has to be more out here.
Only for some people. Some of us really enjoy not having to be here at 7 o'clock or 6:30 and all that stuff, so it may be fine.
Anyone else? At this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Jay and let Jay take his last meeting as mayor.
Thank you.
So Jay, this is another opportunity to do
We need another room.
No, it just breaks out for some reason.
At this time, we're going to take reports from volunteers. Any volunteers have any reports? Public comment. Next item on the agenda is public comment. This public comment period will be limited to 30 minutes. An additional period for public comment is reserved for the end of the meeting. Individuals requested to come forward, give their name and address for the record. Council, please wait for council to recognize you and speak into the microphone. Anyone? Any public comment?
Nobody?
Nobody. Nobody. All right, there being none, we'll move on.
We want you to remember us like this.
Public hearings, we have no public hearings scheduled for this evening. Ordinances introduction, there are none. And resolutions.
Yeah, right?
Mark?
Beginning with Resolution 2016-211, authorizing tax office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations. 2016-212, authorizing utility office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations. R 2016-213, authorizing release of designated escrow deposits. 2016-214, authorizing the execution of an interlocal agreement between the Township of Pequannock and the Board of Education of Pequannock Township for vehicle maintenance and repair services. 2016-215, approving change order number 20 for the Village Area Sewer Project and increasing the contract with Underground Utilities Corporation to a revised contract price of $14,016,458.92. 2016-216, authorizing the transfer of 2016 municipal budget appropriations. And R 2016-217, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the December 22nd, 2016 bill list.
Any comments from council?
No, good with all of them.
I'm good.
Good. Brett?
Good?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2016-211 through 2016-217.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
Yes.
Mr. Vanderhoff?
Yes.
Ms. Winterfield?
Yes.
Mayor Cole?
Yes.
All right, items for discussion. Citizen of the Year Award. I think you're gonna need a procedure. How's you gonna do it?
A procedure, or how are we going to do it, or?
Yeah.
I thought we briefly talked about this.
We did, but
And
there's,
I believe that the discussion was that we were going to take it back over.
yes.
Okay, so I guess we would need,
I think the town clerk wants some direction on how this is gonna work.
well, I think that when you say that, I think the council wants to make the decision, if I know this right or wrong.
Well, let's go through it. The procedure now is that there's a
Wait.
group that does it, but the council doesn't really.
No, the council has no input at all
Yeah,
into
but-
it, in fact.
However, in the past, they have.
Well, is there any kind of written criteria?
Is there, that's what I'm saying, is there a written procedure anywhere?
No,
Okay.
no, it's a group of people who get together, maybe it's 2 or 3 people, I'm not quite sure the number, they're secret.
Right.
Nobody knows who they are except us.
Well, there's an
Everybody
application.
else.
From a discussion with her, she'd like to know a time frame for collecting them. And
Well, I think the original discussion was, what are we going to do as a group? Are we gonna start making that decision, or are we gonna leave it in the hands of
I
people?
think we decided we were gonna make,
Okay,
you were
so,
gonna make the decision.
well, you can help, we'll call you up.
No, I think it's good to get input from everywhere. However, ultimately, it probably should be the council's.
I believe it should be a council decision.
Yeah, but maybe we
Decision.
should write a policy like we
But you
did
should
on
have a
other things. We
policy.
should do a
Well,
policy.
do you want applications come in, the clerk to collect them?
Yes, well, of course, I mean,
I think we should write a policy so we leave something
What time
behind.
period, you know, you're gonna
Yeah.
collect them from January till March and make a decision
and
April?
would that be
or-
in a closed session that we make this decision? Because you certainly don't wanna make it an open session.
Well, I think the decision can be made and closed.
Well, you-
However, you
I'm
would.
not sure.